matter the weather, rain, sleet, or snow, it's a go. We gon' blow, enjoy the show. Preparation, determination, get a clue. On behalf of Lil Shady, 3-point view. Preparation, determination, get a clue. On behalf of Lil Shady, 3-point view.
Don't look now, but the city of brotherly love is on the map. Philadelphia just won the Super Bowl, and now, after all these years of tanking, they have a basketball team. A basketball team who are now tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East. Mm-hmm. But, dun dun dun. What happened?
Markelle Fultz.
Own teammate.
Markelle Fultz
should have left that bum on the bench.
Was he trying to shoot?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to tell you guys.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
know what happened.
All right then. So Markelle Fultz has the ball at the top of the key, and he fumbles it a little bit. And Embiid went to grab it, and they both went down at the same time, and they collided heads. Well, it gave
I thought it was
Embiid
an elbow to the eye.
No, gave Embiid an orbital fracture and also a concussion. So he had surgery. He's expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks, which takes him out of the first round of the playoffs. And if he comes back within 2 weeks, which they're assuming he probably will, then he'll wear a protective mask and play in the first round.
So then, if they slip without Embiid, there's a possibility the Cavs might have to play the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round.
Yeah, if it's 4 and 5 seed, then
Well, I'm saying if the Cavs are the 3,
yeah,
Philly slips to the 6.
right. Then
And the Cavs that'd be a first. LeBron's been used to like cruise control
Right.
to like the Eastern Conference. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This might not work out. So there's other injuries going on.
Well, we can still stay on the Sixers
Okay, go ahead.
and go about the Sixers because the Sixers are a team that is young. They're hungry. And with Embiid, I really think that they could really upset the Cavs if they see him in the first round. And I know LeBron, dust the process and all this stuff and everything. But 76ers kind of put a whooping on them when they last played in Cleveland. So
Well, again, I'm going to go on record right now, there's no way in hell that the Cavs lose to the Sixers.
I'm a betting man.
We can do a bet on this. If they meet in the first round.
If they meet in the first round, we could do it to bet them. And I don't want to bet against LeBron because, to beat the man, you got to beat the man.
Woo!
So to speak. But I don't know. I see Philadelphia being a little sleeper, sliding up in there.
I know you called him as a sleeper, and that's what's making you lean this way. I've been
How
saying
is
the
it
same
early?
thing.
It's not
It's
early.
early in the process. This team has just gotten together.
I get that.
They're doing great this year.
I get that. And let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
Okay. You have Markelle Fultz coming back, right?
Can he shoot?
He's a little better than he was.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right.
He's better than I expected. Other than he takes out the star player on the team with a.
It was an accident.
Headbutt.
Yep. I'd have left his ass on the bench. He
But
sucked all
anyways,
year.
and then you got Robert Covington, solid defensive player, can score the ball. And then Embiid, Simmons, Dario Saric, and they got a solid bench with Jared Bayless.
They're good and young.
TJ McConnell, Timothy, I can't pronounce his last name, Kobohaba or something like that. They have a solid bench, right? And with
Some
that
Philly
being
fan
said,
is going to annihilate.
oh yeah, I know. Whatever. It's like a hyphenated, massive, long name. Kind of reminds me of Beirut. But I don't know. I just see Philadelphia being that team that could slide in there and be the NBA Cinderella.
Even though you're the one saying that Philly is the one that could be that Cinderella team, they'll still annihilate you just for saying that name wrong.
Oh yeah, probably.
So-
But he's not a star or anything. So, like, if I said Embiid's name wrong, then maybe.
Yeah.
So is Embiid going to be the next great big man?
If he stays healthy, or he could be the next sad story.
Process of this is staying healthy, and that process hasn't gone well for the process.
No.
So we have Embiid injured, orbital fracture. Steph Curry, they say he's going to miss the first round of the playoffs.
Possibly, yeah.
Did you look at the matchup possibly? Because they're the 2. Did you see that the Thunder have a possibility of sliding to be the number 7, or the Jazz, the surging Jazz?
They can go from 4 to 8, not the Warriors, but they could play 4 to 8 right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
San Antonio.
There's a couple scary teams.
Well, San Antonio is one of the scariest teams, especially if Kawhi comes back.
Right.
And then they're at 45 and 32. Minnesota's 44 and 33, and that's the rest of the list down to Utah and the Pelicans.
Now, what is it? Sprained MCL for Curry?
Curry, yeah, sprained MCL.
So I don't care who you are. If you have a sprained MCL, you can't get that that bounce in your
But
step.
the good thing about him is he's not a dunker.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not really a driver. So he can shoot. So he could be a spot-up shooter for the first round.
But how do you
take a little
play?
tension
How do you
off.
play defense at 6'3", 190?
Well,
when
what
you can't jump?
What I would do is I would put Curry on the worst player on that team,
Right.
on the opposing team, and have
So
Draymond guard.
you're going to turn Curry
So-
into Isaiah Thomas.
You know, for the most part, hide him within the defense until he gets recovered.
Yeah.
No.
So do you believe? You watch more basketball than most. The Jazz have been on.
They're scary.
They're scary.
They're scary.
What about the Jazz
Dude,
makes
they
them
got
scary?
2 or 3 losses since January, and no one's talking about them because it's Utah.
Right.
They got the potential of the Rookie of the Year in Donovan Mitchell.
That's
Ricky
their
Rubio.
big star.
Ricky Rubio, solid point guard. All right, Derek Favors, solid power forward. Rudy Gobert could be the Defensive Player of the Year this year, right? So then you got Joe Ingles. Joe Ingles is like a taller, I guess, Manu Ginobili. And he can shoot the 3, he can play defense, he's kind of fancy. And then you got their bench. And they are solid from top to bottom. And what they're known for right now is their defense. I mean, you don't just lose 3 games and win 20 plus, after January if you're not good on defense and offense, because you got to score the ball too.
Yeah.
So,
Durant came back.
no.
Already has a couple technicals.
He's
Been
14.
ejected.
He's 2 away from actually being suspended.
Could
again.
this be like another Draymond Green situation? The
It
playoffs?
could be, and it could be a Draymond Green
Draymond's up there,
situation
too.
for Draymond Green. I mean, it's not going the way Golden State wants at all at this
There's a
point.
kicker here. It restarts in the playoffs, the technicals.
I thought
So-
it didn't.
No, if they get suspended before, it restarts in the playoffs to 7. So 7 in the playoffs and then the suspensions. So that's why Draymond had his.
I'll have to re-look at that.
Look it up. I looked it up today. Draymond Green had his suspensions in the first and second round. That's why he got suspended during the finals, because it racked up from the first couple rounds.
He had 7 technicals throughout that
Throughout
playoffs.
throughout the playoffs.
How is that
Holy
possible?
No.
Crap.
I mean, that's 8 games. 12 games.
The technical game.
Just on sweeps, if they
Okay.
did sweeps. But yeah, it restarts in the playoffs to 7. So if they get suspended, say the last game, or they get a technical foul the last game, and that's the suspension time, then they'll get suspended for the first game of the first round of the playoffs, and then it restarts at 7.
How excited are you for these playoffs?
Oh, I'm pumped for the playoffs. I can't
Because
wait.
before these injuries, it was just like, okay, Cleveland, maybe Houston, and Golden State.
I think
Like,
it's a blessing in disguise for what happened with the Golden State Warriors, because the Golden State Warriors and all that talk about rest and all that hoopla about LeBron and San Antonio and Popovich and all that. These injuries, they're actually injuries. Now, we can all say and joke around.
I've sat there and said it for
they're
a few
in,
weeks now.
They're in
that-
Jamaica just hanging out.
I wouldn't say that, but I've said it for the last few weeks that
But-
I'm not sure how much seriousness is going into
Right.
some of these injuries if they're not just figuring out a way to
You
hang
would-
out. And
I would think
get a
that
couple
too.
games
I mean,
break.
I would say you can come back a little bit quicker than what some of the injuries were, but now you
Why
got it's a
would you?
blessing in disguise. Yeah, I mean,
It
why
could
would you?
be. It could
It is
be.
a blessing in
you're
disguise
not
because
catching
they're
the
going to get
Rockets.
rest.
You're not catching the
I
Rockets.
don't think they care
What?
about catching the
They're
Rockets.
not even
This
worried
regular
about.
season.
Oh
is
yeah,
not
it's
their
over.
deal.
They clinched.
They don't give a
There's
shit.
no catching the Rockets now,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
over. So with that being said, you got all them coming back full strength. Klay Thompson just came back yesterday. Draymond's come back about 2 or 3 games now. Kevin Durant's back. Now you're just waiting on Curry. Quinn Cook, they're not rushing Curry back. Quinn Cook's solid.
He's doing
at the point
okay.
guard spot.
He's
He's
doing
doing
okay.
really well.
Yeah.
So they're not even
I've
worried
had
about
him in
rushing
my
him back.
fantasy lineup a couple times.
Quinn Cook?
Quinn Cook.
Where did he go to college at? Wasn't he from Duke?
Off the top of my head right now,
Wasn't he at
I
Duke?
don't remember.
Okay, I'm just
Man.
saying. Okay, so anyway, we got all these injuries.
But
Meanwhile,
Jimmy Butler too. He's still injured with the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And Kat just put up 50 the other night.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. So once Butler comes back, that's a little sleeper boy right there.
Oh, you and your
Once
sleepers.
Once he comes back,
You and your
that team at
sleepers.
full strength, they're gonna give somebody a run.
but is the NBA the least sleeper playoff worthy place? Think about it. You can only count on your hand, like a
Yes
handful of
and
times.
no.
Well, I'm saying NCAA tournament sleepers galore.
No.
Pro football, that road team, New
The
York
la-
Giants, it
But
runs
in,
through
in
it.
yeah, it
the
was at the
baseball.
last sports, you're
last
not really
first.
gonna have sleepers. You're gonna have your playoffs. The teams that are in, the least amount, the 16th person or the 15th team or the 16th team in the playoffs. Those are your sleepers, your Cinderellas, but they're still solid
But
teams.
I think
they
over,
made the playoffs.
I think over the last 18 years or something like that, every team has either had LeBron James, Tim Duncan,
Kobe.
or Shaq or Kobe. Like over the last, that's like the last almost close to 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been like the same. So I'm saying the NBA, like we like to say sleepers, but I think it's the least sleep. Like you think about it, the last thing I can think about is Dikembe with the basketball, grabbing the basketball
Against the Sonics in
right.
94.
But I'm saying for the most part, like maybe.
What about that?
Maybe,
Okay. This team, this Philadelphia team, reminds me a little bit of the Orlando Magic when Dwight Howard went to the finals
with Sean Leonard
against the Lakers. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Was that with
Not with
Leonard?
Sean, not with Sean Leonard.
Okay.
No, they were young.
Yeah, they were young. They had a Hideo Turkoglu. They had young Dwight Howard.
Nelson.
But Jameer Nelson. So that team went to the finals, and that's what this team, because they got a young Embiid, which is a young, but what their kicker is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons
he's gonna be great.
He's a machine. He's a triple-double machine. He's 6'10". He can dribble. He can penetrate. He can shoot a little bit. He can do the free throws. He can get offensive boards, putbacks.
I don't know if you want to call it
He
they
can
did it the
facilitate.
right way or the wrong way, but either way, tanking for 4 years will get you a lot
Yeah,
of number one picks.
the only thing that I'm worried about is that Brian Colangelo, who just took over at the GM this year, blows or ruins what I can't remember the guy's.
What he had built.
What he had going. So, but that's the only thing
Time
there
will
with
tell.
that.
Last one we're gonna touch on. I know you say we beat it to death, but Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is with this whole New York group now. He's not coming to San Antonio.
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs without him. They could, if Curry, like we said, doesn't play the first round,
Right.
it could be San Antonio
Right.
against Golden State. With Kawhi Leonard, they almost beat him last year with Kawhi Leonard.
Well, he only was there one game.
What I'm saying is,
They were up 20 before
What
Kawhi
is
got
going
injured.
on?
Then Golden State came back.
what is going on?
Kawhi's been gone for a while. He's going to come in rusty if he is back.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, he'll be rusty, but he's a baller. I mean, he's gonna come back.
We were just talking, us as a group,
Yeah.
months ago, we're talking he's top 5 in the league.
Yeah.
How do you go from being top 5 to forgotten that fast?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Well, the reason why is because it's the if and this and where and how and when and all that going on with him. So, Tony Parker or Steven Jackson, who used to play for the San Antonio Spurs, was on the Colin Cowherd show and he was like, it's coming from up top. Tony Parker coming out, Manu
His
Ginobili
teammates
coming
are
out.
talking.
He said that Tony Parker, as a person, doesn't have the balls to come out and call Kawhi out. It's coming from up top. So Parker felt the confidence because Pop told him to say it or come out with it to say it.
He's a pop guy.
So
A couple guys were pop guys. Pop's telling him to say
Yeah.
something and he's speaking.
I mean, you got Manu, Timmy, and
Timmy ain't there no more.
Timmy ain't there no more.
So if you were a betting man, does Kawhi Leonard ever wear a Spurs jersey again?
I say no. I say no.
I agree. I say no.
And the only way that he does
How
is
do you
if
let somebody of that?
I don't think
skill
they're
level-
gonna let him go. I think he's
gonna force a go.
I think he's had it.
Or he
I
might play his
personally-
contract out and then go into free agency the following year.
I personally feel like he's had it. I feel like he should have been back already.
Well, his teammates calling him out are giving him somewhat of a bad name, And he's a quiet guy. Like, he's never done anything to deserve the negative publicity that he's getting.
Yeah, I think this whole New York group thing and all that is actually putting him on an island as far as the fans' view, is making him look.
I think he's gonna be in LA.
Selfish.
There's a chance. There's a chance of it.
I think he's in LA.
I think with LaMarcus Aldridge, who came over from Portland to San Antonio when Tim Duncan was there, before he retired.
Isn't that where Kawhi's from? LA?
And he wasn't feeling it. He was not feeling it in San Antonio. I mean, over the summer he asked for a trade. He wanted out. They put him on the block, and then he had a dinner with Popovich, made amends. Popovich admitted his mistakes, what he was doing wrong with LaMarcus. LaMarcus admitted his mistakes, what he was doing wrong on the court. And now look at him. He is balling this year.
Doing well.
So
he's the reason they're in the place.
Yeah, exactly. If they didn't have LaMarcus and they didn't make amends,
They aren't
they
even
wouldn't
in
even
the
be in
playoff
it. They'd be
chase.
down here.
Yeah.
in on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. YouTube going nuts, click the link, no spam.